I'm a Black American. I'm proud to be a Black American.
Micheal Jackson was and still is one of the most loved artists of the 21st century. He was named the King of Pop for many years, and when the title was conferred on another artist, fans of the music industry worldwide were unhappy because they wanted Jacksons to remain there at the top. Micheal Jackson was loved in almost every country in the world, but when allegations of him being a pedophile came to light,
I believe malicious information has been released into the media about me.
the love people had for him would start to dwindle. Was Micheal Jackson ever a pedophile? Were people lying against him to end his career?
Star and Neverland calling him Daddy Michael.
What is the truth? Micheal Jackson grew up under harsh conditions with a father that was only concerned about providing for his family. While he was trying to do his traditional job as a provider, he never hesitated in also providing harsh disciplinary measures. Joe Jackson, Micheal Jackson's father, would physically and verbally abuse his 10 children. Micheal Jackson remembers a time his father beat one of them to the point that their mother started pleading for him to stop, or he was going to kill the child. The singer revealed that his childhood was stolen from him, as he never had birthdays or celebrated Christmas, which may be traceable to the family's Jehovah's Witness beliefs. If you didn't know, Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays or Christmases, but we are not here for a religious history lesson. Anyway, because of Jackson's harsh upbringing and his father claiming that he never hurt his children and simply spanked them, the artist had developmental issues. Now, none of these issues were ever made public, nor did we get a doctor's note, but Micheal Jackson saw himself as a child. A grown man viewing himself as a child after suffering decades of abuse says a lot about the state of his mental health. Besides viewing himself as a child, Micheal Jackson also befriended lots of children, and that would eventually be the start of his downfall. The pop star was known for performing at children's hospitals and also taking care of children diagnosed with cancer. According to him, he was friends with kids because they were more innocent and wouldn't betray you like adults. His love for children led him to buying a property which he called the Neverland Ranch, just to house these children. These children were not without parents, but they somehow got permission to stay at a big mansion with a stranger, because Micheal Jackson was definitely not their family member. The singer told the parents of the boys that stayed in his mansion occasionally that he was a 12-year-old at heart who loved toys and other children. You may want to say that Micheal Jackson didn't develop well, and that was enough reason to allow him to be around these children for long days in his house. But that should have been a telltale sign that he may have needed professional help, not the presence of random children in his house. But we haven't even gotten into the story yet. The singer was first exposed in 1993 by a boy called Jordan Chandler, who was the child of a Hollywood dentist named Evan Chandler. Jordan first met Micheal Jackson through his mother, who was married to a man that helped repair the singer's car. Jackson befriended Jordan, who he then invited to the Neverland Ranch, alongside the boy's mother and stepsister. Jordan was spending so much time with Jackson, which triggered his father, Evan Chandler. The dentist suggested that Micheal Jackson built an extra house on his ranch for him to start staying in, so Jackson could spend more time with Jordan. But they couldn't get a building permit, and the plan fell through. Jordan went on tour with his mother and Micheal Jackson in Monaco, and when they came back to the U.S., Jackson slept at Chandler's house, in the same room with Jordan and his stepbrother. There's no way Evan Chandler didn't have an extra room for Micheal Jackson, but he allowed the singer to sleep in the same room with his sons, and that was when he started having suspicions. Evan Chandler claims that he didn't see any sexual misconduct between the singer and his sons, but he was suspecting something. So when Evan wanted to extract Jordan's tooth, he asked if Jordan had ever been touched inappropriately by Micheal Jackson, and he said yes. Mind you, Jordan was 13 years old and under the influence of sedatives when he made this confession. He was asked to describe Micheal Jackson's private parts, which he did, and that was when Evan decided to attack Micheal Jackson. Evan Chandler approached Micheal Jackson with the evidence he had of Jordan talking about the singer masturbating and giving him oral sex. He demanded the singer pay him $20 million or else he was going to take the case to a civil court. Jackson made a counteroffer of $1 million, and that is when things go from sad to disappointing. For Micheal Jackson to be willing to pay $1 million to avoid a civil lawsuit, then it means that he may be guilty. When Evan rejected the offer, Michael Jackson reduced his counteroffer and offered to pay only $350,000, which made Evan angry and ready to take it up in court. One evil act that people have always seemed to ignore in this case is the fact that Jordan's father was going to use his story to get money off of Michael Jackson. He was never interested in fighting for justice for his son, who was molested, and only took the case to court when he didn't get what he wanted. Now, let's get back into the case. After Michael Jackson was sued by Evan Chandler, the LAPD started investigating the claims. Since Jordan described the private parts of the singer, they had to confirm how true his claims were, so they had to do a strip search of Michael Jackson. The singer claims that it was one of the most humiliating times of his life.
There have been many disgusting statements
As the cops took pictures of his genitalia. The essence of taking those pictures was to confirm if Jordan was saying the truth when he described the singer's genitalia. One unverified anonymous source claimed that the pictures didn't match Jordan's descriptions, but the detectives on the case claimed that Jordan's description matched the pictures. They had to call in Catherine, Michael Jackson's mother, to verify if Michael Jackson did surgery to alter the appearance of his genitalia. In his description, Jordan had said Michael Jackson was circumcised, but the pictures showed that the singer was uncircumcised. The cops were trying to find out if he had done surgery to attach the foreskin back, but his mother said that was not the case. If Jordan's story was not matching with the pictures, then why were they continuing the investigation? Well, Jordan's story was consistent throughout the investigation and didn't seem rehearsed. If the young boy were lying or being threatened by his parents to soil Michael Jackson's name, then his story would have changed from time to time, but that never happened. When Jordan spoke to a psychiatrist, he said the same thing about getting molested by Michael Jackson. So, let's analyze the situation ourselves. Michael Jackson became close friends with a 13-year-old boy named Jordan, who later accused the singer of molesting him by masturbating him and performing oral sex on him. The boy was able to describe the singer's naked body and even remembered that the singer had vitiligo before Michael Jackson revealed that information to the public. When the boy's father approached Michael Jackson with threats of revealing the to the world, Michael Jackson was willing to settle the man. What about this story doesn't scream suspicious? And Jordan's case was not the only case that had the cops looking at Michael Jackson funny. There were 3 other boys that had also accused the singer of them, but the prosecutors could not file a civil suit against him because the main witness was refusing to testify. When people with potential evidence to stop a predator refused to talk, it was hard for the case to move forward. When Michael Jackson's trial started in 1993, the singer's team brought in different boys to testify in defense of the singer in court, and also released different videos of boys defending him. In court, the Home Alone star Macaulay Culkin and another boy, Wade Robson, testified in favor of Michael Jackson. Robson claimed that although he shared the same bed with the singer, there were no sexual acts involved. What should have been suspicious about all these testimonies was the fact that there were so many young boys ready to testify for Michael Jackson. Why did he have so much access to so many young boys? Why had they all shared a bed with him? This was a man with wives and kids. Why wasn't he spending all that time with his family? At the height of the accusations in 1993, LaToya Jackson, Michael Jackson's estranged sister, came forward to claim that all the allegations against her brother were true. She claimed that her mom showed her checks of huge amounts that Michael had written to the parents of young boys. Although she didn't know if it was hush money, LaToya claimed to have not seen the singer in bed with any boys, but she believed the allegations were true, especially since they suffered from their parents too. Many fans of the singer claimed that LaToya was only jealous and wanted to ruin the singer's career with her allegations. But why don't you take a second look at it from a logical standpoint? Michael Jackson was loved for being a philanthropist, as people idolized him for his kindness towards children, especially those struggling with health issues or from troubled families. He took them on tour in private jets and picked them up from the airport in limos. He assisted the family with huge sums financially, and all that made him loved by the world. But how kind do you have to be to spend millions of dollars on people? Getting them extravagant gifts when they never asked for it, and then spending the night in the same room as their kids. There's no reasonable parent that would let their child spend the night with a stranger. But when that stranger has shown you that you can trust them, then you let your guard down and start seeing them as family. For us, that seems like the whole point of the gifts and expensive shopping sprees, to show that he was trustworthy. One of the reasons why Jordan Chandler's case seemed like so much of a stretch, even if there were so many pointers that Michael Jackson was a predator, was the fact that people who knew the truth had sold their stories. The parents of Macaulay Culkin had demanded a news outlet pay them $100,000 when they found out that Jackson had caressed their son. But their son ended up testifying for Jackson in court. Other staff at Neverland also sold their stories to news outlets instead of reporting to the police. So everything just seemed like one big gossip. As the media started putting so much attention on the case, it started taking a toll on Michael Jackson's health, and his insomnia grew worse. Prior to the accusations, he had suffered a scalp injury after an accident during a Pepsi commercial, and he was on painkillers. To cope with the stress of being accused by multiple boys, he became addicted to painkillers. It was during the trial that he proposed to Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley, over the phone, and she agreed to marry him. After a lot of finger pointing and back and forths, Michael Jackson's team decided to settle Jordan Chandler and his family, even though they claimed it wasn't an admission of guilt. It was not an admission of guilt, but they put over $15 million in a trust fund for Jordan, gave his parents $1.5 million each, and also paid the family's lawyers $5 million. Michael Jackson's team spent over $20 million in settlement, but claimed that it was because they just wanted the case to die down so Michael Jackson could focus on his health. It seemed like the singer knew that dragging the case on for too long would bring more things to light and just wanted to close everything. If you thought it was just for his health, then wait until you find out that the allegations didn't end there. In February 2003, a documentary called Living with Michael Jackson aired in the UK and US.
I have great faith in our justice system. Please keep an open mind and let me have my day in court.
There was a clip in the documentary of Michael Jackson cradling and holding the hands of a teenage boy whom they claimed had cancer. In the video, the singer said, "My greatest inspiration comes from kids. It's all inspired from that level of innocence, that consciousness of purity." Well, inspiration wasn't the only thing he was getting from kids, because in November 2003, cops raided Neverland and arrested him on 10 felony counts.
An arrest warrant for Mr. Jackson has been issued on multiple counts of child molestation,
including 4 counts of child and 1 count of attempted child molestation. He posted bail of $3 million on the same day of his arrest, and his lawyer claimed everything was a big lie.
100% convinced Michael never abused a child, never harmed a child.
The other charges included abduction, forced imprisonment, and extortion. The singer had to surrender his passport before he was set free while he awaited trial. We know his lawyer was trying to do his job by defending the singer and calling the allegations a lie. But why would so many children that don't know each other tell the same story of abuse? In a world where victims of abuse are shamed, why would these people step forward to accuse the same person of molesting them, knowing what could come if they were lying? The trial started in February 2005, and Macaulay Culkin and Wade Robson testified for the singer again. They called themselves special friends of the singer because he slept in the same bed as them. Why should a man in his 40s keep teenage boys and younger kids as friends? What do special friends even mean? One of the victims, Gavin Arvizo, who was 14 at the time, had a similar story to Jordan's. He claimed that the singer masturbated him, and his brother buttressed the testimony. His brother claimed that Michael Jackson gave them alcohol to drink and also showed them. One of Jackson's former house staff, Bianca Francia, claimed that she once caught the singer taking a shower with Wade Robson, who kept insisting that he was never abused by Michael Jackson. Francia's son also claimed that Jackson had him. By June 13, 2005, the trial came to an end. Some news websites described the trial as a circus because Michael Jackson didn't take it seriously and even appeared in court wearing PJs one day. He was acquitted of all charges, as the jury did a great job in placing the blame of the abuse on Janet Arvizo, the mother of Gavin, who trusted Michael Jackson enough to let him sleep in his house. According to one of the jurors, what mother in her right mind would let that happen? Well, a mother that did not assume somebody who cared for her family would switch up on them like that. Not only were the jurors insensitive in their statement, they were also insensitive in their judgment. They were telling other victims that there is no guarantee of justice if they were to come forward, because it was their parents that gave them permission to sleep over at Michael Jackson's house. The judgment was telling other victims' parents to keep their mouths shut or they will get embarrassed along the way. Between 2013 and 2014, Wade Robson and another man, James Safechuck, filed a lawsuit against Micheal Jackson's estate for sexual abuse. They claimed that the singer abused him when they were 5 and 10 years old, respectively. James Safechuck had won a dancing competition organized by the singer at the age of 10, and he was invited to Neverland. Wade Robson also won a dancing competition organized by the singer and was invited to Neverland when he was 5, and that was when the abuse started. If you remember clearly, Robson and Safechuck testified in favor of Micheal Jackson at the first trial in 1993. But many years down the line, they were retracting their statement. They both claimed that they lied to the prosecutors during the trial, and it seemed they were ready to share the truth. They and their family appeared in the 2019 HBO documentary Leaving Neverland and shared their stories. One thing that was common in their story was that the singer exposed them to and Safechuck and Robson said they were revealing the truth years later, even though the statutes of limitations had expired, because they were now fathers. They didn't want other parents to repeat the same mistakes their parents made. Per usual, Micheal Jackson's diehard fans said the men were lying about their abuse and memorized the accounts of other victims to say it as theirs. Neither Robson nor Safechuck got paid by HBO, so why would they go through all of that? It was definitely not for attention because they didn't promote anything before or after the documentary. So what were they going to achieve by saying all that about the late singer? If there's anything to get from the documentary, it's the fact that Micheal Jackson is not as innocent as the world believes. The hallway leading up to his bedroom had video cameras and lines that rang when stepped on. Why did he need all that security when that was where he spent nights with his alleged victims? 5 of the boys that spent nights and shared a bed with him accused him of f***ing them. What are the odds that 5 of the boys that spent nights with him would accuse him of the same thing when they didn't know each other that well? Micheal Jackson put these boys through unbearable pain and traumatized them for the rest of their lives. No matter how the world paints him as a pop hero, his victims will always remember him as a